These are the major, seventh or major type voicings on the 1, 2, 3, 4 string family, and these are in G. Begin with the root position, which would be root 5th, 7th, and 3rd, G, D, F sharp, and B. Inversion, B, F sharp, G, and D. Inversion, D, G, B, and F sharp. And in the final inversion, F sharp, B, D, and G. The top voice can move from B, we'll go back to the original voicing, to C sharp, and also to A. Voice exchange, G and F sharp exchange, so we have F sharp, D, G, and A, or F sharp, D, G, and B, and also with C sharp on top, all G sounds, G type sounds. Moving the F sharp to the E, then the top voice to the C sharp, and then the top voice to the A. Going back to the original voicing, D moves to E, D also moves to C sharp for a flat 5. Moving downwards, we have the chords going in this direction now, D, C sharp, D, G, C sharp, D, and B. Top voice moving to A, and top voice to F sharp, G, C sharp, D, and F sharp, to an E also. From there, moving the middle voice, the D to E, and also the top voice to C sharp. So we have G, E, F sharp, C sharp. Top voice moves to A. So those are also from the G major type in this particular domain. So going backwards also, G, A, D, and F sharp. Also G, B, E, and F sharp for the 6th. So moving forwards then, we're going to go to the B, F sharp, G, and D. Now we're going to take the B back to A. And we're going to move forward now. The D can go to C sharp, or it can also go to the E, giving it an E minor type sound as well. Also, this can go backwards. So we have B, F sharp, G, and A, in addition to the D. Also, now that we have the voicing going backwards to the A on the lower voice from B, we have, instead of a standard chord on G, we have an A, D, G, and B. Top voice can move to C sharp. Bottom voice can move to B. So B, D, G, C sharp, B, D, G, A. And also B, D, F sharp, and G from there. So this kind of seconds inside G and A can move to F sharp, and G. Now from B, we can also use B, G, A, and D. Top voice to C sharp, top voice to E. We still have the G major sound intact from there. Also, going backwards, we can use A, D, F sharp, and G, which is also an available voicing. Now moving from B, we can move to C sharp in the lower voice. So we can take this chord, for example, A, D, G, and B, and then put C sharp. So we have an augmented 11th. It's like a G over a D, a C sharp chord. So also, if we go to here, we can move B, F sharp, G, and D. We can move the B to C sharp. We can move the top voice to B. So C sharp, F sharp, G, and B. Go back to D, move it up to E. So that's also a possibility. C sharp, A, B, and E, which is the same as that chord. We can move the top voice to F sharp, top voice to G. And even we can put a D chord, C sharp, A, D, and F sharp. So they all sound like a G chord. And you can even cadence A, B, F sharp, and G. Moving ahead to the D, it was D, G, B, and F sharp. If we voice exchange G and F sharp, we have D, F sharp, B, and G. Also, if we move the D to E, we have a nice sort of an E minor voicing. E, F sharp, B, and G. From the D, we can also move G to A, so D, A, B, F sharp, like a B minor 7, and then just move the top voice to G. Sounds like an added 9 for the D chord. Now, going backwards, we can play D, G, A, and B. Again, an added 9 type chord. Top voice can move to C sharp. And moving ahead, D, G, A, and E. Move the top voice to F sharp. So that's a certain specific type of voicing that works there as well, giving almost an E minor sound. And here a major 7 sound on G. We can move the bottom voice up to E now. So now we have E, G, A, D. Again from an E minor sound, E, G, A, F sharp. So that's an E minor 7, E, G, B, and D. The top voice can move to C sharp, obviously up to F sharp as well. E, A, B, and G. And move the top voice to F sharp. Again, movable voicing, easy to plane. You can hear it within all of those G major type sound. Now if we move to F sharp in the lower part, we originally had this, F sharp, B, D, and G. The top voice can move to A. Also, if we keep the top voice intact, we have F sharp, G, D, and A, which top voice can move to E. Very nice G major type voicing. If I go back this way, we can take the G major 7, F sharp, B, D, and G. Move the inner voice, the alto voice, D to E. Also, voice exchange will give us our straight up and down G, B, D, and F sharp. Move the top voice to E, of course, and that's a very common voicing. F sharp, B, E, and A in fourths, which can occur also on B, and also on E, A, D, and G. And again, the top voicings from the fourths can kind of move away a bit. For instance, E, A, D, and B, and then exchanging for G, A, D, and F sharp. Top voice moving to E from that chord, G, A, D, and E. And that gives you a general overview of the major chords in G on the 1, 2, 3, 4 string family. The related chords are obviously the E minor in this case, and a B minor type sound at times. For example, D, F sharp, G, and E. Again, there are a lot of plainable voicings within the chord family, just like any of the others. Here are more E minor related ones. B, E, G, and A. So they sound like a sixth on the G chord specifically. And that gives you, again, a broad overview. The related chords, B minor and E minor, normally in this type of sound. There are some exceptions. For example, here's a D major 7 type sound. It was this. The F sharp, G, D, and A. Moved it down, using the fifths, that fifths principle. C sharp, D, A, and E, top voice moving, and the top voice moving back and forth. So we have that kind of a sound. We can hear it resolves to the G. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 string family in G, major 7 type voicings.